dolphin moving so fast otherwise.
Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. You did paralyze Kelbesks, didn't you?
Yeah, a while ago.
Yeah, they should be dead in the water.
That's true. They are both dead in the water. That's correct. So,
Merge a little bit,
Like,
you can't breathe.
Kelbesk is a couple hundred feet back.
That's true. I lied. He did.
Hit on Sabera.
Okay, so hang on a second. Undoing all of this, Kelbesk.
I mean, he has
Zebu he spares you, Zebu. He is 100 feet back, and he does not attack you because you were kind and reminded the DM of such things. But he does launch out now, which deals damage.
You cut out, but I heard an L. Was that to me?
Yeah, Tornel.
Oh.
21 damage to Tornel from his massive whirlwind sword. Okay, so now somebody was doing something.
I had an attack opportunity on Sabera.
Actually, not getting an attack of opportunity because they're not bailing onto the dolphin that isn't moving 100 feet behind them.
Oh, can I just get an attack of opportunity because?
No. All right. Goodness, they're close.
You know what? And I critted too. That's just insulting.
All right. Well, Mato throws a bunch of throwing stars, and that allows you to get an attack of opportunity.
Of course he does. All the shurikens that he wants.
Yeah, and he's doing it right in front of you. Take your attack of opportunity.
All right. Well, can I say I got my crit for that?
Yeah.
You're the worst kind of person. Oh man, it's 21.
He said you could get your crit.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh, I'm sorry.
How
I
dare
heard
you.
no. All right. So crit, sweet crit, 14 damage.
Okay, 14 damage. He is not doing so well.
A slice of throat.
Which is why he focuses 2 of his shuriken at you, which hit. 2 pairs of shuriken at you. They are paired together in attacks. So, he deals, let's see, with the first one, 13 damage.
Okay.
And with the second one, 10 damage. 12 damage.
Look at these
12
goddamn shurikens, though. I mean, even like
They're
2
also
at a time.
magical, and he's very strong. And 2 fortitude saves, please.
Right. Let's see here. What's my fortitude?
In the meantime, Asina,
18
he's also...
and 22.
You said 15 and 22?
No, I said 18 and 22. Actually, no, I added that wrong. 15, sorry.
Okay, I'm sorry. So what is the number? I couldn't hear you.
15. First one was a 15, second one was a 22.
Okay, so the second is another one of those numbing shuriken then that you managed to shake off. The first one, though, is different, and all of a sudden your blood feels like it starts to burn, and you are poisoned. You take 2 damage right off the bat.
Alright, 2 damage.
Okay.
The walls, does my dolphin look like it's melting?
No, the dolphin's okay. The dolphin is eager and excited for combat, though it's not really doing much combating. And Asina, you also take one of the pairs of shuriken, and that is 10 damage, plus roll a fortitude save, please.
Okay. 11 for the fortitude save.
Not so good. You are also paralyzed, so you may not charge up your sword.
Well, guess what? It's my turn next, right?
Yep. If you have a charge, you can release it, but you can't charge up after that.
Yeah. Okay. I released the charge that I have.
Wait, hang on a second. I'm sorry. It's not your turn yet. Because it's still.
Though, right?
No, we just got things totally out of order because of attacks of opportunity and everything like that. So Mato is actually attacking, and then Sabera, and then it's Tornel. We just got caught up on the whole Mato section. So Sabera actually gets to go, launching a bunch of fireballs, 2 at Kensu, 2 at Zebu, and the first round actually hit the both of them. And the second round, do even better. So 16 damage to Zebu from taking some fireballs. They look sort of like spiky fireballs even. And
how does that work?
I have no idea. I just look at what the sprite looks like at the game and do my best to interpret it. And 22 damage to Kensu.
Fine.
All right. And
chance.
now it's Tornel's turn.
I will charge up once, and I will let loose the level 1 on Sabera.
Okay, you do so.
31 to hit.
Ooh, very nice. That's a hit.
And 11 damage.
Excellent. She feels that, and she says, "Oh, you're next." Around the corner, like I said, you were at the little horn here on the edge, the western edge of Evil Spirit Island. And coming around the corner, you see another person riding a dolphin. This time it's someone you haven't seen. You haven't seen this person in a very long time.
Is it the guy from the item store?
No, it's not the guy from the item store.
It's Frank.
It is Carmine. Another one of the finest four, one of your former companions.
I think I can...
Carmine and Sabera must have the same tailor. Though he is merely a taller-than-average man, his spacious blue shaman's robe gives the illusion that he's a larger and more intimidating man. Mystical symbols are embroidered in white onto the flat apron he wears around the front of the robe, which is held in place by two broad, pearl-studded belts that wrap over Carmine's shoulders and connect in the center of his back, just below where his long, greasy black ponytail hangs. Like his comrades, Carmine's face is covered with a mask, this one resembling a skull with ceremonial blue paint along the edges. He wields a staff in his left hand, and as he comes around the corner, he flings a circle of swirling blue magic out at Kensu, who's the closest one. Roll a will save, Kensu.
21.
Okay. As the blue magic... Actually, that would be... Yeah, we'll do it that way. I'm sorry, I lied. I completely did this the wrong way.
Carmine's not there!
Yeah. No. It is a ranged touch attack, is what he's doing at you, and which does hit. And what was your will save?
21.
21. Not actually sufficient. As you get hit by this swirling blue magic, everyone looks at poor little Kensu, who slowly shrinks into this little blue slime that is now sitting atop a dolphin. You have successfully been polymorphed, whatever the heck your name is. Kensu. And Kelbesk looks around and he says, "Carmine, I'm sorry, we were trying to reach you. Looks like you had to reach us." Carmine says, "That's fine, we'll take care of these interlopers and we'll be on our way." Kelbesk goes and directs his attention at Tornel, fires again, and does not hit. Your lovely armor absorbs some of the blow of his tornado coming out at you. Zebu, go ahead.
Hey, I'm going to move up to Mato.
Okay.
And I'm going to attack him with my sword.
Okay.
Did 28 attack?
28's a hit.
And 15 damage.
Very nice.
Is he dead yet?
Nobody's getting there.
Ah!
Kensu, you are a tiny little monster.
Can I polymorph myself back? Is that something I could do?
You can try it. Go ahead. Actually, you try it, and before you can even consume your magic points, you can't even muster up the hand motions to polymorph yourself back. So you're stuck as a little monster for the moment. Any other ideas? You have a move action yet.
I'm so glad other people in the party have polymorph. Oh, wait. I don't know. Die a painful death?
Well, I mean, if you want to send some adventurer out to get an ivory statue for you, I'm sure that'll be back. Asina, go ahead. Oh, and you take 2 damage from being poisoned, you little monster.
Oh, good.
Wait, can Kensu use telepathy? Oh, wait, no, that was Tornel. Never mind.
I was just thinking that.
I was going to say, can you use telepathy to contact, what was his name?
Carmine?
No, the loser.
The loser?
Frank?
No, not Frank, the guy, Stom. Tell him to bring us an ivory statue.
I was thinking, can I do the hand motions for him and, somehow put it into his head, but I don't know if that would work.
No, unfortunately. But I like where you're all thinking. Asina, go ahead.
I launch my charged sword at Mato and then cast Recover on myself.
Okay, go ahead. And technically those are 2 standard actions, but I'll let it slide.
Thank you.
So roll to hit?
Yep. Rolling now.
Rolling.
25.
25 is a hit.
And that is 28 plus 3. 8.
8 damage?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that continues to slice him up with water, and now he's looking a little bit soggy and bloody, more so than usual, and
That's
his
what you
armor
said
is
5
his
his
armor is
ago.
starting to fray.
And then
And
I
that's
guess
his-
myself.
And now it's his turn for some retaliation. He says, I think I'll chance it. He rolls up into a ball. Zebu and Kensu get an attack of opportunity.
Right.
Oh, good! I will bloop at him.
And I rolled a 1.
I'm gonna bloop. You have
Are you wielding the Sword of Wind right now, or the fancy soldier sword?
Soldier sword.
Okay. As you swing the soldier's sword, you hear a small snap inside, and you can see the magical power from the stone of Mount Saber just all of a sudden get released out of it as the sword starts to crack as you swing it the wrong way. And roll a reflex save as this burst of magical energy is released from
22.
22. You successfully dodge back. You don't actually take any damage. Well, you take 1 damage.
Oh, okay.
You take 1 damage from the sword exploding in your face. But there's this release of magical energy that as you whiff, you look back at your sword and it's no longer sparkly and shiny. It is just a regular, boring longsword. 1d8 damage.
No. Okay. Sigh.
Kensu, you take another 2 damage from being poisoned. Anything else you want to try and do at the meantime?
I mean, how the
We
hell am
can
I going to control
Crystalis.
a doll? What am I mean, I could run away if I wasn't surrounded by inky blue depths. I don't think the dolphin is going to respond very well to blooping in a direction. Let's see here.
It's actually kind of wiggling itself around a little bit because you feel funny on top of it.
Oh, good. Good. Apparently I need hands to polymorph.
Can Tornel...
Although I think that's really a short-sighted thing, because what if I were to polymorph myself into something that doesn't have hands?
Then you wouldn't be a very wise man at all.
I mean, more so, what if I polymorphed into an octopus? Do my extra hands then have to be involved in the incantation?
Yep, although, as I believe I previously mentioned, it needs to be a humanoid shape that you polymorph
I
yourself.
was just gonna say, so then can't he technically not polymorph you into a slime?
This is a different magic. It is not the same change magic that
Oh.
he uses.
Otherwise known as shenanigans magic.
Otherwise known as play the game. It's totally in there. Kensu, you're done. Asina.
I really am.
Charge and attack.
Okay. You may charge in. Oh, wait a second. You were paralyzed, weren't? Oh no, you used
I
recover
recovered
yourself.
myself.
You're no longer paralyzed. Charge and attack.
Let's see. That is a 27.
27 is a hit.
Oh,
Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a second.
What?
You're not even attacking yet. This was Mado's turn. He just got all of these attacks of. I'm just abolishing attacks of opportunity because then I completely forget
Well,
where.
I still hit him, and it's still 9 damage. You can take it from my turn when it comes around again.
Well,
That
but
is
he's...
exactly what I will do.
Ooh, you're in trouble.
Okay, so I'm marking off Asina for having done her turn already. Mado curls himself up into a ball and dangerously rolls himself at high speed across the water, hoping not to break the surface. As let's see, as Little Monster Kensu and Asina roll reflex saves.
Do
He's
I even have a reflex save?
You do. It's the same as normal, but because you're a very slow monster, you take a -4 penalty.
Well, that's an 11. And
No, you don't dodge. Asina.
you, however, probably do.
Now 15. 23.
23. Okay, you successfully dodge out of the way.
With my dying breath, I break the surface tension of the water. I jump in front of them and break the surface tension of the water.
How many hit points do you have? You're not dead yet.
I have like 75.
Yeah, see.
But I jump
All right,
in.
so-
I'm gonna break the surface. I'm gonna disturb the water right in front of it.
So Kensu takes the full brunt of the attack. And takes 20 damage from a big Mado cannonball. And Asina, because she successfully dodged, only takes half that, or half of a different die roll. So you only take 4 damage.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Sabera gets to go.
Wait, does what's his face sing? Please tell me he sings.
No, actually what he does is he bounces in your direction.
How
And
does
then
he bounce on water?
It's like a skipping stone.
That's not that. It's not bouncing. It's more like
Skipping?
yeah.
skipping. So, so anyhow, he's sort of hopping and skipping along the water, and is now headed away from the battle. So he's on the other side of Asina now.
I hope this isn't a very well thought out plan on his part. I mean, he's weak against water, and he's
Magical water! Magical water!
oh.
All right. Sabera launches out some more fireballs. Oh, actually, no, she doesn't launch out some fireballs. She now activates a fire shield. They're little flames that start spinning around her that look like getting into melee combat with her, Zebu, would be a little chancier than previously. So she's activated a fire shield. Now, Tornel, go ahead. Tornel, roll a wisdom check.
Okay. That would be a D20 plus my wisdom modifier.
Yes.
Yay. That is... Oh, I'm dumb as a rock. That's a 1.
You feel yourself willing yourself to take brain damage. Okay, Tornel, go ahead. It's your turn.
Does anyone like the idea of doing the Crystalis now that we have the swords?
Which would be great if you could get the sword off of Kensu,
happened to
because
my
he
sword?
and all of his equipment have been polymorphed as well.
What?
Oh.
What?
Unless you want the sword to just fall out of his hand and drop into the sea.
I can hand you like a little piece of slime that I think is the sword.
It's actually your ankle.
Oh, rats. Well, then I guess I will just charge up and do a level 1 attack to Sabera.
Okay.
That is 26 to hit.
Okay.
And 6 damage.
6 damage.
Oh,
All
which
right.
is a natural 1 again.
Oh, you mean you rolled a 1 on your attack? Or
Yes,
did you
I
just
rolled
roll a 1 on your damage?
I rolled a 1 on the attack, but it added the modifier.
Okay, well, if you roll a 1 at all, that's an automatic failure.
Yeah.
No,
Roll
it's not.
roll your d20 again.
It's a possible fumble, right?
Yeah, roll
Yeah,
your d20
right.
again.
That is natural 20.
Okay, so you are just about to throw your sword into the sea, but then do the most amazing juggling act with your sword and catch it back in your hand.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
All right.
Thank God my intelligence is bipolar.
Carmine looks at you, Kensu, and he says, blue and slimy suits you. And then launches...
I say the gloop equivalent of "You're one to talk, you rat bastard," and then I say I bloop many different curses at him. Yeah, just use your imagination as what that sounds like in gloop.
Tornel goes, whoa.
That slime's got a foul mouth.
Carmine launches a couple of fireballs of his own out at... there are too many people with the letter K starting with their names. Launches some fireballs out at Zebu, a whole bevy of them. All of them hit.
What?
All of them hit. Yes, let me see how many d6s I have.
How many d6? How many do you need?
38 damage from
What?
a bevy of fireballs. And as he's firing those out, Sabera looks at him and she says, I've always admired the art of your fireballs. Very elegant, very precise. Carmine says, thank you. And then she looks back over them, and you can see her about to pontificate again. And she says, you so-called wise men really don't get it, do you? You could be healing your friend right now, but instead you're just letting him blop around on the dolphin.
Oh my
This is so
god,
precious.
someone shut this bitch up! Oh.
And Kelbesk has a chance to attack. Kelbesk goes again, and he starts to try and kick his dolphin. And when the kicking doesn't work, he pulls out a flute that he has and says, I should have done this a while ago. And says, this is degrading. Blows a little, another shell flute-looking thing. And the dolphin suddenly perks up and is awake.
Oh, yikes. Did you use an
So-
alarm flute?
Yes, he did.
Dude.
All right, and now it's back to Zebu.
Okay. Where am I? I'm next to Sebera?
Yes, you are next to Sebera, very near Slimy Kensu,
Okay.
and a short distance away from Carmine.
If I roll a knowledge arcana check, does that count as an action?
No.
No,
Oh.
you just are knowing things.
Wait, where did I put that? 16. About
Okay, what are you acknowledging?
how to heal Kensu.
You don't, off the top of your head, know exactly what will heal him, but you know that it's beyond normal magic. There is, you recall something somewhere, some kind of item that can restore him, but it's not normal recovery magic. You know that much.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna take a 5-foot swim back.
Okay.
I'm gonna go, a stupid sword, and I throw it. How do I roll a throw?
It's basically a ranged attack, so use the same attack roll that you would for your level 1 charge, just -1 from that because it's boosted. So base attack plus dexterity.
Okay, 24.
24 is a hit.
Right, and so I would just roll the regular damage from that?
Yep, just regular damage for the sword.
You ready for this?
Okay.
1.
That is mighty impressive. That's Sebera, you say?
Yes.
The sword scratches off her cheek slightly, and she looks at you and she says, "How rude."
Then I'm going to use a medical herb.
Okay.
So.
Also, that's technically a standard action, but I will let it slide. All right, Kensu, you're poisoned. You take 2 more damage.
Hooray.
Anything you want to try and do?
Think about my life, choices that I've made, people that I've hurt. Feel a little bit bad about letting the amulet with Asina go and kind of being a jerk. Just gonna sit here. Nope.
Okay.
Maybe resolve to be a better person if I ever get out of this life.
Do slimes
Okay.
float?
You can certainly test that for yourself if you'd like. Asina takes her turn that we rolled like forever ago, and does some attacking. Mado is now, let's see, can he do it? Is successfully skipping off. It looks like he tried to turn directions, but can't sort of turn himself around, and is just skipping off into the distance, and is quickly getting away from you. Uncontrollably, I might add. Sebera, however, has an idea of her own. She also sees
9 damage that happens somewhere. Okay,
What's that?
I don't care who it happens to, but I rolled it and it happened. So
it already happened. I applied your 9 damage to Mado as he was skipping away.
Okay.
So you nabbed him. You got him.
Okay.
Sebera also sees what Kelbesk is up to, and she says, "Very well. Not very ladylike, but I shall try it." She does a magically enhanced leap from her dolphin, her sleepy dolphin, onto Kelbesk's, and lands with a big thud on the back there. And she says, "All right, shall we get out of here?" Kelbesk shoots back at her. "We need to get Mado first. He's the one with the statue." Tornel, go ahead.
Where is Mado at this time?
Mado is disappearing
He's
quickly
dead to
to the
us.
south.
Yes. Okay. I guess I'll just double charge up.
Okay, you double charge. And Carmine says, "Look, you go secure the altar. I'll go after him." I say, "Very well." So Carmine starts to rush off down towards Mado, and Kelbesk begins to navigate the dolphin away and starts heading back to the northwest. It's back to Zebu.
Right. So I roll a knowledge arcana check again, trying to remember what this thing is. I got 20.
You can only roll a knowledge once. Either you know it or you don't.
Lame.
However, if you have another knowledge that you can substitute,
No, I have knowledge local.
that would work.
Oh, okay. I got 24.
Okay, 24 on a knowledge local. You know that there are all sorts of different unique kinds of plants that have all sorts of different restorative capabilities that grow in different places around the world. And it's entirely conceivable, if knowing what you know or don't know on the Arcana roll, if you realize that regular magic, like you have, is not going to be able to restore Kensu, then perhaps some sort of unique, weird berry, fruit, plant, vine, herb of some sort could restore him. And you are free to share that with your party if you like.
Oh, well, but I don't know what specifically.
You don't know specifically which one.
Oh.
You know, I happen to have some unique berry herb type plants that we got from that reef. That I got from that reef.
Do you?
I do. I have 3 of them.
Can you, like, throw one at Kensu?
I would imagine I'd probably have to wait for my turn.
Okay, well...
In combat?
He's technically, everyone who is around him has abandoned him. But it's not his turn yet. It is Kensu's turn. And Kensu's dolphin starts squawking at Tornel and says, and because as you're conveying this, it's naturally communicating it so that the dolphin can hear as well. And as the dolphin starts to speak to you, it says, "Hey, wait a second. Did you say you have something that can help this slimy guy on top of me?"
I think I might.
Well, I'll come over towards you then. The dolphin swims Kensu over in the general direction of Tornel. So Tornel, you are now within range on your turn to move up to Kensu and use those crazy berries if you want.
Okay.
Asina, go ahead.
Okay. Where am I in relation to everyone right now?
Okay, so the way the map is, according to what I'm looking like, using Asina as the center point, you are out in the middle of the water. Asina's in the center point. 50 feet northeast of her is Kensu. 50 feet east of Kensu is Tornel. Going back to Asina in the center, like 60 feet northwest of Asina is Zebu, who is currently in front of an abandoned dolphin that Sebera and Mado were riding, that's still sleepy and paralyzed. And north of him, by about 50 feet or so, is Kelbesk and Sebera escaping. And 50 feet or so south of Asina is Carmine, who's chasing after Mado, who's a little bit further south of him.
Okay.
So everybody's pretty well spread out.
I'm going to go to Kensu.
Okay.
And scoop him up off his dolphin.
Okay. So you scoop him up, and he's an interesting. He doesn't leave a gooey trail, but he's sort of like those brain in a bag or whatever they're called, like the really squishy texture things that feel like they should be slimy and squish. But anyhow, he's gross. All right, so Asina, you go over there and scoop him up. Mado is off doing who knows what over who knows where. Sebera is going off with Kelbesk, quickly heading around the corner of the island, and Tornel can go ahead.
I will give Kensu a berry.
Okay, so you meet up, and you take the berry, and not really knowing what to do with it, you sort of smash it and rub it all over whatever body part it is that happens to be Kensu slime right now. And you see the berry goo sink in, and Kensu gradually grows back and returns to his normal form.
In Asina's arms.
Oh, thank God. I'm so sorry.
In Asina's arms. Kensu, you're back to normal as Kensu gets.
We're having an emotional reunion over here.
Yeah.
All right. So Carmine is quickly racing towards Mado, actually managed to intercept him. However, he takes the full force of Mado bouncing into him. And suffers some damage, but at least Mado is now properly on the dolphin.
Still think he should have fell in the water and died.
And Kelbesk is escaping with Sebera. It's back to Zebu.
Oh, can I chase after someone? Who would be good to chase after? Kelbesk and...
Well, you've got Mado and Carmine to the south, and you've got Kensu and Sebera closer to you to the northwest.
However, Mado does have some kind of statue thing that they really want, so if we took that away, that might not be a bad idea.
True. Am I closest, compared to everybody else, to Kelbesk, I guess?
Yeah, compared to everybody else, you're much closer to them. You're, let's see, he was escaping now. I'm running out of room on this side of my little paper. He's, I think, 100 feet away from you by now.
I'm going to use one move action to move towards them.
Okay.
And then another one to equip my bow and arrow.
Okay. That's fine. Kensu, you're still poisoned, so you take 2 damage, but it is your turn.
Just to roleplay, can I, take a minute to get my bearings now that I'm not a slime?
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like that's pretty, I'll take a turn, to hug Asina, apologize, and,
have a heartfelt reunion.
Say some inspirational things while I'm also adjusting to having legs again. So.
There is no I in team.
But there is a Kensu. Okay.
There's an am in team. So. Neither here nor there.
All right. So you are having an emotional reunion. Asina, are you reciprocating?
Yep, I'm also casting Recover on him.
Woo!
Oh, good. You are no longer poisoned, Kensu.
Woo!
Mado is now back and settled on the Dolphin with Carmine, and they're starting to head out. Sabera is also making her escape. Tornel, go ahead.
How far away is the closest enemy?
The closest enemy is... They're both pretty far away by now, but it's probably Carmine and Mado. They're now 200 feet south of you.
Oh. I don't know. What do we want to do? Do we want to chase someone?
I'm chasing after Kalbesk and Sabera, so if you guys want to do something with the other two.
I think we should get... Mado's too close to dead at this point.
Yeah,
we should finish him.
Let's finish off Mado.
I'm apparently only useful against Sabera, so I should go with Zebu.
I'm useful against Carmine. So
and I'm useful against Mado, so...
There we go.
So, we'll split up.
I should get some hit points back, because I'm a little low. Does your recovery work on hit points?
No.
No, recover's just for status ailments.
I think I have a couple medicinal, so nom.
All right, so anyhow, it's Tornel's turn to figure out what he wants to do. So you are pursuing Sabera?
Yes, I will. I'll just double move towards her.
Okay, you are on your way, but you're still behind. Carmine actually says you can see as some of you are starting to approach, and you can still actually everybody. Asina and Kensu roll a listen check.
19.
19. You can just barely. Asina, did you do any better?
Hang on. Probably. 30.
30 or 3?
I have really good listen.
Okay. So you can hear Carmine saying, "Look, give me the statue. I'll start this up. You can catch up. Actually, you won't even need to make it back to the island. You can probably stick around where you are." And you hear Mado grumble. And you see him hand over a little golden statue. It doesn't look like anything in particular. It just sort of looks like this mound of metal that was twisted up to sort of kind of look like a person. And it doesn't actually look very gold either. But he hands it over to Carmine, and Carmine clicks his boots together very awkwardly on the side of the Dolphin. He has to sort of swing himself around and ride side saddle. But he clicks his heels together, and you can see him sort of collapse onto himself into just this little flash, this little blip. And you hear the telltale teleportation sound as Carmine disappears. So it's just Mado on a Dolphin. And Zebu.
Oh, have they moved away from me yet?
Not yet. I mean, they're in the process of moving away. They're still far.
Oh.
They're 150 feet from you, I think.
Oh, okay, so I have to catch up.
Yes.
But you said it was 100 for the range for the bow, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do I want to...
Well, we'll say you're close enough that you don't have a range penalty.
Well,
If you move up.
Yeah, okay,
then
that's what
attack.
Okay. Then, I'm going to move and attack with my bow, Sabera.
Okay.
I rolled a 21.
21 is a hit.
Okay, and I do 6 damage.
Okay.
Yes.
She looks at you and she says, "A wise man firing such a mundane weapon? Huh? What has this world come to?"
Well, my other wouldn't hurt you at all, so...
Why couldn't you have given one of us like a silent spell, Nathaniel? Because we could really use it for this one.
Kensu casts Shut Up on...
Can I,
All right,
can I
Kensu,
try
go
to
ahead.
polymorph her into her same shape, but without a mouth?
Kensu, go ahead.
Do that. I want to polymorph her into someone without a mouth.
She's pretty far distant for that right now.
Alright. So Carmine's disappeared. Mado is he there? Mado doesn't have the sculpture, nor does he... We gotta get to this island.
Get back on your dolphin.
You wanna go to this island? Yeah. Alright, let's go to this dolphin. Mado can just go lick his wounds. I don't care.
He's so hurt. That's experience.
I die in half an hour.
Do I still have those warp boots?
What?
Do I still have warp boots, or did those get used up?
I don't think anybody ever used warp boots. So hypothetically, if you wanted to ready an action to do something after Asina took her turn, Asina could use warp boots to teleport herself across the battlefield to be right in front of Mado. Not that I'm giving you any, suggestions or anything, but that's a possibility.
Be right in front of Mado before or after he hands over the statue?
It's too late for that now, because it wasn't your turn when that happened. But if you still wanted to attack him this turn, Asina, you could teleport and Kensu would stab him.
I give the warp boots to Kensu and tell him to go after Carmine.
I mean, I can't warp. It's not like I can warp there, I don't think, right?
Well, actually, you can do that this turn. Again, Kensu, you can, if you discuss this in advance, you can ready an action to use the warp boots when Asina gives them to you.
But I can't, warp to the island.
Actually, no, that's true. You can't because you haven't been to the island, so you don't know what it looks like.
Well,
I'm making a jerk-off motion, by the way. just so everyone knows.
I don't know, if you are allowing her to teleport across the battlefield, could he, teleport onto my dolphin? Since he can see
theoretically, yes. Or you could, he could teleport onto your dolphin, yes.
Okay. Just a thought.
Yeah, actually, that would be problematic. You couldn't teleport you and your dolphin and Asina all the way to Meta. One of you would end up in the water. But yes, if you wanted to, you could teleport onto Zebu and get much closer to be catching up with people.
Onto my shoulders.
So what's it going to be, Kensu and Asina?
Carmine is the thing. He doesn't. The first guy, Mado doesn't have the statue anymore. We always probably go into that island. So
Wait.
I'd say haul ass towards that island.
Okay, so you take off in the direction of the island.
Yeah.
Okay, you do that. You were saying wait, Zebu?
Sorry, I was just having a thought that if she handed the warp boots and her sword to Kensu, and then he teleported to me and I hand him my sword. Just saying.
And Tornel could theoretically reach you guys on his turn.
Just saying.
Well,
all right, let's go pick up the swords.
Okay, so that'll be on your turn when that happens.
Okay, so are you following that plan? Because I'll let you do that on this turn.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
All right, so Asina hands the Sword of Water and the warp boots to Kensu. Kensu, she fits them on his feet somehow. And he clicks them together, teleports over onto Zebu's dolphin, miraculously does not fall into the water, and you now have 3 swords on 1 dolphin, which sounds like a foreign film.
Anyway.
Mado is off doing his thing. Sabera is off doing her thing. Tornel.
Then I will... Who has the swords now?
Me and Kensu.
I will go towards you guys.
Okay, you are now up alongside them.
And I will gently hand you my sword.
Okay. So, Zebu, you now have the 4 swords starting to float in front of you once more.
Oh, I thought I was going to give it to Kensu.
Kensu, you now have the 4 swords floating in front of you.
Alright, make Crystalis.
On your turn.
Yeah, what?
In the meantime...
Combat? Seriously?
What?
Are we? Because it doesn't really feel like we're in combat.
You are sort of in combat. I'm still taking a turn order, but there's not anything physically threatening you at the moment. So if you want to break out of turn order, you can, and just, do all of this while this is going on. But anyhow, just as you're starting to put your swords together, you hear Carmine's loud voice echoing across the water. And it says, "Angry sea, I command you to erupt into the tallest fountains of water you can muster, you pathetic sea. With an ear-shattering, rippling roar, the rough waters of the angry sea begin to swirl in several places. And then, as far as you are able to see, twisting cylinders of water start to shoot into the sky at random intervals, reaching what must be a few hundred feet before losing cohesion and raining back down into the sea. Water is now spattering everywhere around you, making it difficult to keep an eye on anything that you're doing, and also making it difficult to stay on your dolphin without falling over. Ride checks all around, please.
Nathaniel, it's not 11 yet.
23. Also, I yell at the ocean. I tell the ocean that I didn't know it was Carmine's bitch.
I got
You get some sea spray splash in your face.
I got a 12.
Not so good. You start to slip off your dolphin, and actually you fall in the water.
Oh,
I got a 19.
You do not fall in the water. Asina,
Yay.
Kensu,
I got a 23.
you're good?
I have a good ride.
Asina, how about you?
21.
21, you're good.
21.
Okay, so Zebu's splashing around in the water. Everybody else is good as the sea's getting rough, and these giant fountains are going off everywhere. All right, team, what are you doing? I'll break you out of combat rounds now. What are you doing, team?
I'm getting back on my dolphin.
All right, so you get back up on your dolphin, and Kensu, you have the swords in front of you, which are now laid out in front of you, and they begin to glow, combine, and boom! You are now the possessor of Crystalis, or Crystalis, depending on your regional accent.
I guess
Yeah.
I'm still trying to get to that island.
Now,
Okay.
do we perhaps want to ride 2x2 on the dolphin so that one of us wastes a move turn, and then
Ooh.
the other person can have 2 attack turns?
Ooh.
Ooh. I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna hold up Crystalis and say, I don't know, like, by the power, angry sea, by the power of the elements and this holy sword, I command you, to calm, and to be calm, yes.
To chillax.
Yeah.
You, Tornel,
Ow. I could do. So,
Tornel, hear the dolphin squeak, and also the fluffy bunny rabbit that you picked up that everyone's forgotten about that's just been nestled in fear
I've been
inside
thinking
your
about
backpack. Well, wherever. The bunny stuck with you and hid away in one of your backpacks. But the bunny comes out and starts to say, along with the dolphin, they're like this chorus of animals. Some of the fish even come out and say, "That sword is not the golden statue. You're not going to command the sea with that."
This sword beats. I don't care if it's not the golden statue. This sword's better than the golden statue. The golden statue is nothing compared to this sword. The golden statue is this sword's bitch.
The golden statue is the only thing that's going to control the sea when it's placed on the altar. That's how it was created. That's magically the way it is. So
Well,
if you want to command it, you got to get the golden statue.
I tell Kensu,
Shenanigans.
I have a feeling that something is going to happen soon, so maybe we should hurry this along.
Which is all well and good. The three of you, because right now Tornel and Zebu and Kensu are having a little powwow all close together, and Asina is still catching up from across the water. And a very large blast of water comes up underneath Asina, propelling her upwards at a very fast rate, several hundred feet up into the air. Asina, roll a will save.
She's going to fly straight up into the floating tower.
That is a 30, sir.
You are actually kind of enjoying this ride. You're not at all afraid of it. And as you are rushing upwards, you look up to find that as the waterspout is pushing you at a breathtaking speed through the air, as the islands below you start shrinking, and the floating tower in the sky becomes impressively larger, you are just about at a point where you can touch the floating tower.
Told you.
The circular tower looks to have 6 golden stories. You can see them up close from here. But the circular tower looks to have 6 golden stories or layers, each one slightly larger than the one atop it, and a silvery dome as its base. It resembles a deadly dessert in a hovering bowl of doom. Each layer is alive with
Daniel, what?
Yeah.
No, don't.
You've seen the picture. Each layer is alive with activity. Blinking lights, moving staircases, and metal creatures of various shapes and sizes can be seen on every level of the tower, with some of the creatures flying in a patrol loop around the tower. The upper layers have openings that appear to be passageways into the tower interior. On the base of the tower, there are 2 rings of decorative holes running around the upper edge. At least you hope they're decorative, because otherwise they're aimed at everything that might possibly approach the tower from below. The very base of the base is hollow, and the heat blur below it suggests that you're either looking at the tower's form of energy propulsion or a very large weapon that is just beginning to heat up. Asina, the water spout slows to a halt, and you are suspended for a moment just above the lip of the tower's base. There's about a 12-foot gap between where you are on your dolphin and the edge of the tower. Spaced about 5 feet apart along the edge of the tower are small golden cannons mounted on thick silver poles, which all rotate and point at you as you approach, though they do not fire, not yet anyhow. And you are suspended here on top of the water spout, just a short distance from the tower for a moment. What do you do?
Make a leap.
Make a leap. Roll a jump check. Again, this is a 12-foot gap.
Get the dolphin to leap.
The dolphin kind of squawks at you, but you can't understand what it's saying. But the dolphin does its best to support you as you're ready to leap from it.
26.
26, you say?
Mm-hmm.
You successfully leap. You've got about a 2 or 3 feet to spare. But you leap from your dolphin and just barely make it onto the edge of the tower. Hooray! And you see the dolphin start to squawk at you as the spout begins to dissipate and rains back down into the ocean. It does a graceful nosedive and splashes back down into the sea. I keep calling it an ocean. It's really a sea. Zebu, Kensu, and Tornel, you're sort of looking in amusement or terror or shock at what just happened. And what do you do?
Can I warp to Asina?
Yes, if you have warp boots and
Wait.
can see the edge of the tower, which you sort of can.
Yeah, because also remember that you just used warp boots, unless you bought some extra.
Which I don't think anybody did, because those warp boots are one use only. Tornel can teleport and teleport other people.
Oh, wait. How high up is this thing?
Several hundred feet,
Several hundred feet?
so not high enough to fly up to.
Oh, wait. Not high enough to fly up to.
Not low enough to fly up to.
Ah!
Thought you could get with me with my backwards logic.
Now we can all just kind of huddle together and I can teleport everyone up there?
One by one.
Oh.
And again, because you haven't actually been there, it's only in your line of sight, there's a risk that you might teleport somebody close to the edge of the tower. But these spouts are going off left and right, and they're all very close to the tower. Some of them are actually splashing along the bottom of the tower.
Who has a good jump check? Maybe someone else can do that because it costs me 40 MP every time.
I have a
Why don't we jump on one of these spouts?
I have a really good jump check.
That's the video game way to do it. Come on.
Just saying.
Well,
It's just
jump
like
in a
Mario
spout.
2.
Let's go. Do this. Leroy Jenkins, jumping in a spout.
All right. So you maneuver your dolphins in the general direction of the tower, sort of eyeing up as best as you can, and just sort of sit and wait there. And you go through 5 rotations of spouts going on around you, but not under you, until finally one takes you up, and you are now about 10 feet away from the edge of the tower on your dolphins.
Yeah.
And you see Asina standing there. Asina, do you wave at them?
Yep.
Okay, Asina waves at you. How do you get off?
I'm going to take a leap with my rabbit boots.
You rabbit boots it.
Yeah. So I got a 26.
Okay, very good. You're also a couple feet over the edge.
I'm going to use a light propelled jump.
Yes, you fly, and I'll let you hover, even though it's only... you do it. You fly and just gently glide over the edge, and you are now down on the tower. Tornel.
I'm yelling Leroy Jenkins again.
I will teleport.
Okay, you are there. You are standing on the tower. All of you have made it onto the tower.
Hooray, we
Huzzah!
win.
Hey!
We won.
For the sake of time, I'm not distributing experience points right now, but assume that you just got a whole bunch of experience points for everything that you just did. Hooray!
For the sake of time, let's skip a whole bunch of stuff and just get to the end, okay?
That's basically what you're doing. I'm closing this off at 11, no matter what happens.
I'd just like to point out that we've been very focused this session. So,
I know. I appreciate that you have.
anything that we don't get done is your fault.
I understand that. I was just going to have you all get eaten by lions, but whatever. That's cool. We can skip that. So you are with the ground beneath your feet. Once again, you take a moment to scan the area for Dragonia's finest 4. Roll a spot check.
15. Oh, wait, 13.
21.
Okay, it looks like at least some of them, have somehow made it to one of the upper levels of the tower already, though you can only see the signs of their magic, not they themselves. There's a swarm of mechanical creatures exploding around them with the kind of flourish you'd expect from your former comrades. So presumably you begin to rush towards the center of the tower, and you barely make it 5 feet towards the center when you hear a mechanical voice appear out of nowhere. Perimeter breach, intruders detected, initiating transport to intruder holding cell. Will saves all around.
Rolled a 1.
Nope.
Natural 20.
Nice.
25.
Can you use your
Okay.
20 to protect me?
Can we just kind of split a 10?
Asina, will save?
18.
18. All right. Tornel, there's this brilliant flash of light around you, and when your vision clears again, all of your companions have disappeared. And you just sort of stand. Yep. Natural 20 was the only thing I was accepting for that.
Wow.
And then you hear another sound. It says, perimeter breach, intruders detected, initiating secondary transport to intruder holding cell.
Oh, shenanigans. Shenanigans.
Tornel is forcibly transported with the rest of you, and you suddenly feel like your body is being pulled in 1,000 different directions at once. When the light subsides, you are standing in a small room filled with complex machinery. It looks like some of the walls, pipes, and pillars have been damaged or simply begun to decay over the last century since the tower was created. But the most recent victim is a blast door that looks to have been busted apart by a person-sized cannonball. Just outside, you hear the sounds of combat. However, in the corner of the room, you hear a pained whimper, and you notice a young man badly burned and outfitted for mountain corner. He feebly reaches his hand out to you, and he says, "Beware! Don't listen to the woman in Bryn Mawr. She told me there was a mountain made of gold, and I thought it was here, and this was just a place of robots and death."
Hey, do you have any medicinal herbs or things you'd like to sell us? Conspicuously placed person.
He just collapses.
Oh, speaking of which, since we're all standing around, does anyone have a fruit of power I can use? Kind of running low. It might be handy.
Yes, I do.
Hey, I'll take it. How much does it recover? Anyone?
I don't know.
40 magic points.
40 magic points, yes.
Very cool, thanks.
Fun fact for everybody that I'm surprised we haven't been doing, you can charge up your sword ahead of time if you know you're going into combat so that you have a fully charged sword when you start combat, instead of taking the first 2 turns to charge up. Just, in case that was the strategy you'd like to use.
Kensu, since you're the only one with a chargeable sword. Or is it chargeable, or no, it just fires?
Yeah, it's chargeable. You got a level 1 charge on it.
Charging my soul, charging
Okay.
up, charging it up.
Wonderful. What is everybody else using for weapons, by the
I
way?
have my bow and arrow.
Nice.
I have my guard sword.
Nice.
I don't
Asina,
think I have any.
Okay, well, you progress. You walk outside, you leave the guy, he's like, "It's okay, come back to me later." You step out of the room and onto a 30-foot wide balcony wrapping around a portion of this level's circumference. A dilapidated hand railing runs along the edge of the balcony, curving a little to follow the thick pillars that jut out periodically on the level below you. Strewn about the balcony are parts and pieces of machines you've never seen before, some of which are still smoking and twitching. You hear a loud vroom sound, which draws your attention to your left, where an entire section of wall folds itself out into a moving staircase headed upward to the top level of the tower. You spot Kelbesk, Sebera, a badly injured Mado, and Carmine dashing to the top toward a large doorway. Before you have a chance to react, however, one of the hand railings nearby is blasted to pieces as a torso-sized energy ball collides with it, missing Zebu by a fraction. Behind you, a bipedal mechanical creature slinks toward you, like some sort of azure monster on the prowl. More creatures, some similar, some different, begin to pour out of the openings on the wall.
Crystalis explode them all?
Okay, roll to hit.
Oh wait, no, Crystalis is on the thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's at the bottom of your sheet.
40,
Yeah.
12 plus 6, according to mine.
12 plus 8 for me.
Oh.
Yeah. Alright. That's a possible crit. I rolled 2 19s in a row with
Nice.
an attack bonus of plus 15. If this doesn't hit, God help us, because I can't. So, 40-12 plus 8 times 2. Let's see.
Or it's times 3 for Crystalis.
I killed everything. Do I even have to roll?
Please do. It's so delightful to roll for that much damage.
Alright, I'm gonna set up my little random number generator here. So let's see, it's 12, D12 plus D4. 120 damage.
You may describe their robot-y deaths.
There's nothing.
nothing
They're there, and then there's a quick flash, and then nothing. It's like someone took a photograph that sucked everything into it, and now there's just where there now is not. That's all there is to it.
Wow.
Please
All right.
tell me those bastards, or at least say Vera was in range too. I
No,
mean,
just a bunch of robots that exploded.
150 feet. 150 feet.
Every one of the robots that was in there was in a close enough line. You exploded them all. There's still more pouring out, though, which suggests that you should probably run up the stairs. But they take a look at the carnage and sort of back off a little bit as you run up the stairs.
I mean, I feel like wherever they're coming out of, my gigantic wave of Ultra Doom should have flowed into there and ruined everything. You know, whatever.
Right.
Anyway, let's run.
Anyway, let's run. So,
run
the couple of machines that are pouring out now seem unable or unwilling to follow you up the moving stairs, and they cease firing at you as soon as they see you heading towards the doorway at the top. They cluster around at the base of the stairs, wobbling uselessly in place. The chamber at the top of the stairs is pitch black, except for a faint purplish glow around what might be another larger doorway up ahead. Suddenly, the room springs to life. Lights flicker on across the ceiling and walls, and display screens with incomprehensible symbols instantly activate. Suspended from the ceiling through the glowing archway ahead is what looks, for all intents and purposes, to be a mechanical replica of a human heart, with tubes, wires, and various nodules giving it a distinctly inhuman look, particularly when the dome in the center of the heart opens to reveal a piercingly blue eye staring directly at you. You hear a snicker of satisfaction from Carmine and notice the finest four flanking the mechanical heart, 2 on either side. "You're nothing to fear. Be proud of it," says Mado. "Don't think you've even seen a fraction of our power," says Kelbesk. "I will enjoy destroying you," says Sebera. Carmine says, "You must be tired, so rest forever in darkness." Ha! Roll for final initiative.
No. No, we just get out the Crystalis sword, we shoot it in the big glowy weak spot, and we're done.
I mean, it was a really easy boss battle.
All right, Kensu, I will let you take the surprise round on this. Go ahead and do it.
Okay, let's see, roll d20. Let's see, that's 12, that's a 3, that's a 14, hey, there's an 18, that's a possible crit. And, let's see, roll again, 3, that's no good. Hey, 19, confirms a crit. Alright, so, we got a crit with Crystalis, and, let's roll again. Only 110 damage this time. Everything in the room.
The heart at the center of the chamber begins to fizzle and fry as these huge explosions fire.
No. I don't care about that thing. It blows up. It's dead. Describe the bastards that have been plaguing us this entire time. Describe how painful their death is. I want to feel as if I'm listening to a symphony of torture from these, for lack of a better term, Jenny, feel free to bleep this out, fucker. So, describe to me how their skin bubbles and then slaws off their bones. Describe to me how Sebera's mouth shuts once and finally, forever. I never longer have to hear that one of her super long, smug, expository speeches. Tell me how Mado tries to curl into a little ball, and then, he's just trapped in there forever. Kelbass, I don't know, scanner, head blows up. And Carmine, oh man, let me see. Maybe he comments for all eternity. That's what happens.
The end.
Yay!
And there's a big explosion. There's now a big altar on the other side of where this horrible, horrible carnage that you've just delightfully described has transpired. And you actually don't have any idea what to do with any of this because nobody actually told you what to do.
Grab the statue, which somehow survived the blast.
Yeah, you're standing far enough into the entrance that you didn't get touched by this huge explosion that consumed all of your foes.
I'm gonna put the sword in it, and run like hell.
All right, you shove the sword into the winged altar, and you hear a voice come over the intercom saying, "Confirmed meltdown, self-destruct has been initiated, final countdown initiated, evacuate, explosives activated, evacuate, 30, 29, 28, 27, and it begins counting backwards, and then you realize you don't actually have any way off the tower. Go.
Teleport.
Teleport? You guys, actually, you're wizards or something.
No, sir, no. We are wise men.
Yeah.
So, the question is, do you have enough magic points to teleport
I just
yourself
used...
out?
Yes, he does.
Hey, here's a fruit of power that I've been keeping this entire time. No, that is legit. I do have one.
All right.
And we're out.
You fruit of power your way out, and just as you're teleporting out, you see the poor wounded man crawl in here, and he's like, "Oh, no, that's okay. You can come back and heal me later."
It's okay. Grab him. Fine. We've got 25 whole seconds.
And you teleport out onto a hillside nearby on one of the islands, and you watch as this tremendous lightning bolt is summoned from the sky, smacks into the center of the tower, and completely cracks it apart as it falls in a flaming hulk into the ocean.
I'm in a lawn chair watching this with popcorn and a cigar.
I'm making margaritas. I have a little mixer I've been carrying around with me. That was in my gear.
Hooray and huzzah, a bajillion experience points to everyone. You have destroyed the floating tower, saved the day, destroyed Dragonia's favorite, finest four, murdered an entire town and an entire other town completely by accident, let a town pretty much burn to the ground, did horrible, unspeakable things to guards, and generally were heroes enough for people to celebrate you and build a statue in a town somewhere.
Best game ever.
Yay!
Good work, guys.
It's over!
Now we get to stay here for another few hours to spend those experience points.
Yes, you level up to level 90?
Somewhere in the distance, some flying Medusa heads with...
Make up with Asina, and we go on, and we have all the babies.
carrying Yeti monsters comes after.
And one of the dolphins finds that locket that fell into the ocean. And
Hooray!
And in diving to find the locket in the ocean, also discovers a sack filled with 1,000 gold that had been dropped
oh
by
my gosh! Whoa!
And I'll just become a full-time fortune teller.
Miss Tornello.
Love it. And that is the
Everybody's
game.
getting laid!
We did it, guys.
Buddy.
Yes. So thank you so very much. No, wrong game, wrong game.
Whatever.
Next time on the Game Cola D&Dcast, a game that isn't Crystalis, and a thrilling announcer voice that doesn't hurt my throat so much. Be there!
Be there.